There are millions of ways to express your happiness, but there is only one way to really be happy, and that is to love. There is no other way. You cannot be happy if you don't love yourself. That is a fact. If you don't love yourself, you don't have any opportunity to be happy. You cannot share what you do not have. If you do not love yourself, you cannot love anyone else either. But you can have a need for love, and if there's someone who needs you, that's what humans call love. That is not love, that is possessiveness, that is selfishness, that is control with no respect. Don't lie to yourself. That is not love. Love coming out of you is the only way to be happy. Unconditional love for yourself, complete surrender to that love for yourself. You no longer resist life. You no longer reject yourself. You no longer carry all that blame and guilt. You just accept who you are and accept everyone else the way he or she is. You have the right to love, to smile, to be happy, to share your love, and to not be afraid to receive it also. That is healing. Three simple points: the truth, forgiveness, and self love. With these 3 points, the whole world will heal and will no longer be a mental hospital. These 3 keys to heal the mind were given to us by Jesus, but he is not the only one who taught us how to heal. Buddha did the same, Krishna did the same. Many other masters came to the same conclusions and gave us these same lessons. All around the world, from Japan to Mexico to Peru to Egypt to Greece, there were humans who were healed. They saw that the disease is in the human mind, and they used these 3 methods: the truth, forgiveness, and self love. If we can see our state of mind as a disease, we find there is a cure. We don't have to suffer any longer. If we are aware that our mind is sick, that our emotional body is wounded, we can also heal. Just imagine if all humans could start being truthful with themselves, start forgiving everyone, and start loving everyone. If all humans loved in this way, they would no longer be selfish, they would be open to give and receive, and they would no longer judge each other. Gossiping would be over, and the emotional poison would simply dissolve. Now we are talking about a completely different dream of the planet. It doesn't look like the planet Earth. This is what Jesus called heaven on earth, Buddha called nirvana, and Moses called the promised land. It is a place where all of us can live in love because we put our attention on love. We choose to love. Whatever you call the new dream, it is still a dream, as real or as false as the dream of hell. But now you can choose which dream you want to live in. Now you have the tools in your hand to heal yourself. The question is, what are you going to do with them? Chapter 12. God within you. You are the force that plays with your mind and uses your body as its favorite toy to play and have fun with. That is the reason you are here, to play and have fun. We are born with the right to be happy, with the right to enjoy life. We are not here to suffer. Whoever wants to suffer is welcome to suffer, but we don't have to suffer. Then why do we suffer? Because the whole world suffers, and we make the assumption that suffering is normal. Then we create a belief system to support that truth. Our religions tell us that we came here to suffer, that life is a valley of tears. Suffer today, have patience, and when you die, you will have your reward. Sounds beautiful, but it isn't true. We choose to suffer because we learn to suffer. If we continue to make the same choices, we will continue to suffer. The dream of the planet carries the story of humanity, the evolution of humans, and suffering is the result of human evolution. Humans suffer because we know. We know what we believe, we know all those lies, and because we can't fulfill all those lies, we suffer. It's not true that you go to hell or to heaven after you die. You live in hell or you live in heaven, but now. Heaven and hell only exist in the level of the mind. If we suffer now, when we die, we still suffer, because the mind doesn't die with the brain. The dream continues, and when our dream is hell, our brain dies, and we are still dreaming in the same hell. The only difference between being dead and being asleep is that when we are sleeping, we can awake because we have a brain. When we are dead, we cannot awake because we don't have a brain, but the dream is there. Heaven or hell is here and now. You don't need to wait to die. If you take responsibility for your own life, for your own actions, then your future is in your hands, and you can live in heaven while the body is alive. The dream most humans create on this planet is obviously hell. This isn't right or wrong or good or bad, and there is no one to blame. Can we blame our parents? No. They did the best they could when they programmed you as a little child. Their own parents did the same with them, the best way they could. If you have children, you couldn't know what else to do either. How can you blame yourself? To become aware doesn't mean you need to blame anyone or carry guilt for what you have done. How can we carry guilt or blame for mental disease that is seriously contagious? Everything that exists is perfect. You are perfect just the way you are. That is the truth. You are a master. Even if you master anger and jealousy, your anger and jealousy are perfect. Even if you have a big drama going on in your life, it's perfect. It's beautiful. You can go to a movie like Gone with the Wind and cry for all that drama. Who says that hell is not beautiful? Hell can inspire you. Even hell is perfect because only perfection exists. Even if you dream hell in your life, you are perfect just the way you are. It is only knowledge that makes us believe we are not perfect. Knowledge is nothing more than a description of the dream. The dream is not real, so knowledge isn't real either. Wherever knowledge comes from, it is only real from one point of perception. Once you shift the perception, it is no longer real. We are never going to find ourselves with our knowledge. In the end, that is what we are looking for. To find ourselves, to be ourselves, to live our own life, instead of the life of the parasite, the life we were programmed to live. It isn't knowledge that will lead us to ourselves, it is wisdom. We have to make a distinction between knowledge and wisdom because they are not the same. The main way to use knowledge is to communicate with each other, to agree on what we perceive. Knowledge is the only tool we have to communicate because humans hardly communicate heart to heart. What is important is how we use our knowledge because we become the slaves of knowledge and we are no longer free. Wisdom has nothing to do with knowledge. It has to do with freedom. When you are wise, you are free to use your own mind and run your own life. A healthy mind is free of the parasite. It is free again in the way it was before domestication. When you heal your mind, when you break free of the dream, you are no longer innocent, but wise. You become just like a child again in many ways, except for one big difference. A child is innocent, and that's why he can fall into suffering and unhappiness. The one who transcends the dream is wise. That is why she doesn't fall anymore, because now she knows. She also has knowledge of the dream. You don't need to accumulate knowledge to become wise. Anyone can become wise, anyone. When you become wise, life becomes easy, because you become who you really are. It's difficult to try to be what you are not, to try to convince yourself and everyone else that you are what you are not. Trying to be what you are not expends all your energy. Being what you are doesn't require any effort. When you become wise, you don't have to use all those images you created. You don't have to pretend to be something else. You accept yourself the way you are, and the complete acceptance of yourself becomes the complete acceptance of everyone else. You no longer try to change other people or impose your point of view. You respect other people's beliefs. You accept your body and your own humanity with all the instincts of your body. There is nothing wrong with being an animal. We are animals, and animals always follow their instinct. We are humans, and because we are so intelligent, we learn to repress our instincts. We don't listen to what comes from the heart. That's why we go against our own body and try to repress the needs of the body or deny they exist. This is not wise. When you become wise, you respect your body, you respect your mind, you respect your soul. When you become wise, your life is controlled by your heart, not your head. You no longer sabotage yourself, your own happiness, or your own love. You no longer carry all that guilt and blame. You no longer have all those judgments against yourself, and you no longer judge anyone else. From that moment on, all the beliefs that make you unhappy, that push you to struggle in life, that make your life difficult, just vanish. Surrender all these ideas about being what you are not and become what you really are. When you surrender to your nature, to what you really are, you no longer suffer. When you surrender to the real you, you surrender to life. You surrender to God. Once you surrender, there is no longer a struggle, there is no resistance, there is no suffering. Being wise, you always go for the easy way, which is to be yourself, whatever you are. Suffering is nothing but resistance to God. The more you resist, the more you suffer. It is simple. Imagine that from one day to another, you awake from the dream and you are completely healthy. You no longer have wounds. You no longer have emotional poison. Imagine the freedom you are going to experience. Everything is going to make you happy just to be alive, wherever you go. Why? Because the healthy human being is not afraid to express love. You are not afraid to be alive, and you are not afraid to love. Imagine how you would live your life, how you would treat the people you are close to if you no longer had those wounds and that poison in your emotional body. In the mystery schools around the world, this is called the awakening. It is as if you awake one day and no longer have emotional wounds. When you no longer have those wounds in the emotional body, the boundaries disappear and you start to see everything as it is, not according to your belief system. When you open your eyes and you don't have those wounds, you become a skeptic. Not to increase your personal importance by telling everyone how intelligent you are, or to make fun of other people who believe in all those lies. No. When you awake, you become a skeptic because it's clear in your eyes that the dream is not true. You open your eyes, you are awake, and everything becomes obvious. When you awake, you cross a line of no return, and you never see the world in the same way. You are still dreaming because you cannot avoid dreaming, because dreaming is the function of the mind. But the difference is that you know it's a dream. Knowing that, you can enjoy the dream or suffer the dream. That depends on you. The awakening is like being at a party where there are thousands of people and everyone is drunk except you. You are the only sober person in the party. That is the awakening, because the truth is that most humans see the world through their emotional wounds, through their emotional poison. They don't have the awareness that they are living in a dream of hell. They aren't aware that they are living in a dream, just as a fish swimming in water is not aware that they are living in water. When we awake and we are the only sober person in the party where everyone is drunk, we can have compassion because we were drunk too. We don't need to judge, not even people in hell, because we too were in hell. When you awake, your heart is an expression of the Spirit, an expression of love, an expression of life. The awakening when you have the awareness that you are life. When you are aware that you are the force that is life, anything is possible. Miracles happen all the time because those miracles are performed by the heart. The heart is in direct communion with the human soul, and when the heart speaks, even with the resistance of the head, something inside you changes. Your heart opens another heart, and true love is possible. There's an old story from India about the god Brahma who was all alone. Nothing existed but Brahma, and he was completely bored. Brahma decided to play a game, but there was no one to play a game with. So he created a beautiful goddess, Maya, just for the purpose of having fun. Once Maya existed, the Brahma told her the purpose of her existence. She said, "Okay, let's play the most wonderful game, but you have to do what I tell you to do." Brahma agreed, and following Maya's instructions, he created the whole universe. Brahma created the sun and the stars, the moon and the planets, then he created life on earth, the animals, the oceans, the atmosphere, everything. Maya said, "How beautiful is this world of illusion you created? Now I want you to create a kind of animal that is so intelligent and aware it can appreciate your creation." Finally, Brahma created humans, and after he finished the creation, he asked Maya when the game was going to start. "We will start right now," she said. She took Brahma and cut him into thousands of tiny, tiny pieces. She put a piece inside every human and said, "Now the game begins. I am going to make you forget what you are, and you are going to try to find yourself." Maya created the dream, and still, even today, Brahma is trying to remember who he is. Brahma is there inside you, and Maya is stopping you from remembering what you are. When you awake from the dream, you become Brahma again and reclaim your divinity. Then if Brahma inside you says, "Okay, I'm awake, what about the rest of me?" You know the trick of Maya, and you can share the truth with others who are going to wake up too. 2 people are sober in the party can have more fun. 3 people who are sober is even better. Begin with you. Then others will start to change until the whole dream, the whole party, is sober.